Hello everybody, this is Kelly from paperbeadrollers.com and I am just working on a project, so I thought that I would pop on and just see if anyone's around and maybe chit chat with you a little bit. If you're on, pop in, say hello. I'll keep an eye on the chat while I'm working here. So what I'm doing is I am creating some beads for my new bracelet, which I am selling on paperbeadrollers.com. It's called the Element Collection. And it's going to be a bracelet, some necklaces, some earrings, and all that good stuff. And so some of the beads that I'm making are solid colors, and then some of them are going to be these beautiful papers that you see on your screen right here. One of the downfalls of using gorgeous papers like this is that they have white edges. So if you can see this right here, you can see this is exactly the same paper, the same bead, but this one I actually forgot to gild the edges first before I rolled it. And then I went, oh no, after I did it. And this one right here, I did gild first. So you can see from the top, they look pretty similar when you're looking at them straight on. They're not too different, just a little. I don't know, this camera doesn't focus closely very well. There we go, that's a little better. They don't look too different. But from the side, they look very, very different. And this one, there's a little edge right there that I missed. I can see. There we go. This one looks, I think, much better, especially when I get the core inside of it, and it'll finish it off very nicely than this one. So I was just gonna, I was sitting here doing something. I thought, well, why don't I get on and see if anyone's around and chat? So this is an unplanned live showing you how to do this. Now there's one trick. Somebody mentioned this. I have a video on how to do this, and someone mentioned in the comments that they just push their bead down. So I'm going to do that and just show you what happens. So I can take this bead and I can just push it down into my pad, and that's good. What it'll do is it will get some gold on there, but here's the thing. See how there's a little ring in the center of white, and how you can still see white around here? And that's fine, but if I tried to roll this, let's do a little bit. Let me roll it so that I can make my gold wider. What happens when you do that is, okay, yes, it does cover the edge, but it also covers your pattern. So instead of having the beautiful pattern showing through all the way down to the edge of the bead, now you just have gold from here down. So it depends on the look you want. I mean, I guess if you just want gold with a little stripe of color in the middle, you could do it after the fact and just roll it like this. That could work. Woo, I'm dropping stuff. But I feel like the better option, and even here you can see how much better this one looks than this one. I think it's a little more time consuming, I admit, not gonna lie. That's why I'm sitting here bored and saying I'm gonna hop on and see if you guys are around. But I think the little bit of time that you spend is going to be better. Hey Sarah, hey Candy, I'm glad you guys popped on. I wasn't sure if anyone would be around. So I'm just gonna sit here and show you my technique. So what I do, and again, I do have a video on this, but I'm doing it live, so heck, why not? Is I've got my pliers, which I don't think I used in that video, but just so my fingers don't get so messy, I just take my jewelry pliers and I just run it. It doesn't take much. You just run it super quick over your pad, and make sure you get all the edges. Don't leave any white spots. That's all you got to do. It's pretty quick and pretty easy. Now I'm using my big one. I've had this pad for a while, and I have a refill for it, so I've been using my big one. But I got a bunch of these. I got a lot of these that I've put on the website. So if you're interested in having this and doing this yourself, it might be more economical for you to buy this one, because this includes the gold, silver, copper, and then a dark gold. And it's the same brand, it's Delicata. But you don't need a huge pad. If this is all you're doing, if you're not doing stamping, you don't need a huge pad like this one. You could just use these little squares and get all 4 of these. And I forget how much they are on the website. I'll have to go look. But yeah, you could just go ahead and get all 4 at once. Hey Karen, how are you? Karen, I miss you. It's so good to see you guys. I'm glad you're joining me. So tell me what kind of beading projects you're working on lately while I'm working on these. Anything super fun? I know Candy's prizes. Candy won in the fan giveaway that we did last week for my birthday. Candy's prizes are in the mail. They're on the way. Oh, well, I'm glad you popped on, Karen. It is so good to see you. It's like an old friend. Karen she's a big fan of Catherine Pooler, who I worked for the last couple of years. So I used to see Karen all the time online, and I haven't been on those lives and not working there now. So yeah, I miss you. You make so many wonderful friends through crafting. It's amazing. Like, even if you've never met in person, you feel like you know them. So it's kind of neat. Look at that. See, this doesn't take very long. It's going pretty quick. Oh, you're welcome, Candace. Yay. Hopefully it won't take too long to get to you. There we go. So these are the wide beads that I'm doing right here. The wide Euro beads. And all the measurements, if you want to create beads that look like this, check out the video on YouTube on my channel. It's only a few weeks old, but it's the wider Euro beads, and all the dimensions that you need to cut these yourself are in the video. Hey, Deborah Ryder, how are you? Debbie won a wand. If you guys saw my video about creating the wand for the Harry Potter game, I was in a collaboration with a bunch of other channels where we all created wands, and there was a contest. I did not win, although I did get quite a few votes, so thank you if you voted for me. But James, the owner, I guess, of the Wizards News channel, he gave away a bunch of Harry Potter wands as well, and Debbie won one of those wands. So that should be fun. And if you're interested, I actually just posted that wand for sale on the website as well in various colors. So I just thought, it's not jewelry, but it's neat, and it uses paper beads, right? So what else is going on? Does anybody have big plans for the weekend? I know it's Wednesday, so sometimes on a Wednesday you have to just talk about the weekend to get through, right? We've got some Cub Scout activities coming up. My son is 10, and he has one more year after this in Cub Scouts before he graduates to Boy Scouts. Turn that over so we can see the pretty. Anybody else doing anything fun? Oh, he just came in too. He's on spring break this week, so we're doing all kinds of fun stuff. He's out playing with his friends in the front yard. See, this technique is not difficult at all. Not as soothing as actually rolling the beads. Do you guys find rolling beads soothing? Like, I like to sit and just, if I'm watching TV and I roll, and it's just very relaxing. Sometimes I don't want to stop and put them down to go to bed. And I'm up until 2 in the morning just rolling beads. I'm like, I'll just do a few more. Next thing I know, it's 2 a.m. Another good thing about this metallic ink is that it comes off your fingers pretty easily. It comes off with a baby wipe. You don't have to even use soap, because it's not like a dye ink or a pigment ink. Those of you who are stampers, you guys know what I'm talking about. All the different kinds of inks. Hey, Enid. How are you? So you find it soothing, Enid? I think that's probably, there's a lag, of course, in the video and the comments that come up, but I'm betting that was what you were answering. I get a little bit on my finger right there, but it'll come off pretty easy. I am good. We have spring here in North Carolina. I live near Raleigh. Bye, Karen. Hugs. It's good to see you too. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good afternoon at work. Yeah, spring is here. It's like 80 degrees today. It's gorgeous outside. After this, I'm gonna go outside and maybe work in the yard a little bit, get my fingers all nasty and dirty. Enid, 5 a.m. You've beat me, girl. I've not done 5 a.m. doing bead rolling, but I think 2 is probably my limit. Woo. So these beads are for the, like I said, it's for the element bracelet, and I just named it. It's the bracelet that I made in the wide tutorial, the wide Euro bead tutorial. I'm going to call that line the element because it just has that one element. It's just chain and gold metal beads. It could be silver or gold. And then the paper bead is the star. And so I've got some solid colors coming. I've got blue, purple, pink. I've got black with some like kind of raised grayish dots on them. And then I'm going to use these beautiful, gorgeous papers to make some as well that are a little more colorful and varied. Ooh, Candy a motorcycle. That sounds like a lot of fun in this weather. My husband had a motorcycle when we first met. He had a Softail Harley, which is one of the smaller ones. But I gotta tell you, riding in the back of that thing, it was not that enjoyable. It was every bump. Because there's not a lot of padding on the seat of a Softail. Sorry. There's just not. So I hope you have a motorcycle with lots of, with a nice comfy seat. And be careful driving. There are crazy car drivers out there that don't pay attention. You know that, I'm sure. Oh, I think I missed a spot on the top of this one. Let me go back and get it. If you see me missing a spot, try to catch me. The lag will probably mean I'm done with it by the time you see it, but there we go. All right, let me wipe off that finger before it gets too gold. So see, I can wipe it right off. That's the great thing about the gold, the metallics. A purple heritage Softail. Oh, good. I'm so glad you love it. I'm pretty sure the seats for the driver's part are a lot more comfortable than the ones in the back. And it's purple. That would be awesome. Absolutely awesome. You'll have to send me a picture. Purple motorcycle. I love it. All right, I think we're good on that one. I wonder how long it's going to take me to get through this whole pile. It's a little slow. Like I said, it would be really nice to just like dump the bead into the pad and just be done with it. It would be so much faster. But I really think taking the time to do it this way, it just looks so much better. Just so much prettier. I think I missed some on there. See, I'm getting too much in a hurry and I'm not talking instead of paying attention. There we go. Where are you guys all from? I bet we've got some folks from all over the place in here. And what kind of weather do you have? Like I said, it's 80 here today. We're still kind of going back and forth a little bit, where it's still like some days it's 60, some days it's 80. But for the most part, spring is here. The leaves are out on the trees. Yeah, it is tedious, but I think it's worth it. I think it just looks so much better. And it's easier to do the first side because I run my finger along the top and it presses it down for me, but I try not to run my finger over the inked side because I don't want to lift any of the ink up. We got Ohio. Ooh, Philadelphia. I like Philadelphia. I've only been there once, though. I love going to cities that have really rich histories. Sunny in Northeast Ohio. That's a rarity this time of the year, isn't it? You guys could have snow or 80s. Minnesota, 74 degrees and sunny. Oh, gorgeous. See, you northerners are having great weather. I can say that because I used to be a northerner. The question is it as soothing watching somebody else do this as it would be to do it yourself, I wonder. I'm not so sure it's that entertaining, but at least we can chat, right? A little chilly in Philadelphia. We're going to DC soon, and I don't know. Does anybody know when the cherry blossoms come out in DC? I'm not sure if we're going to see it here in this next week or if it's too late already. I think it's a little late for here, but we're a few hours south, so I'm not sure how far behind us DC is in terms of the leaves and stuff like that. There we go. Now I'm on a roll. I'm starting to get faster. Hopefully my coverage is good. So the bad thing about this is if you miss a spot, sometimes you don't see it. I try to check while I'm rolling because sometimes you can't tell. Like this edge is so thin, it's sometimes hard to tell if it's white or gold when it's like this. But once you roll, it's real obvious if you missed a little batch. So I try to watch it as I'm rolling and check both sides because then you can unroll it a little bit and just dip it back in and catch it. But if you miss it, what you can do is you can try with a toothpick, especially if you have, this is the refill right here. So this is the Delicata Golden Glitz Refill Inker. These are a little hard to find. I had to get them from a distributor. I couldn't find them on Amazon at the time I was looking for them. But you can put a little bit of this on like a cotton swab and kind of dab it down into the cracks to get the piece you missed, because it's very noticeable. Very, very noticeable, because like I said, there's your uninked side and there's your inked side. So you may also be able to use a toothpick if you don't have the re-inker. You might be able to get the cotton or a toothpick into the pad enough to soak up enough to get it down into the finished bead. Gina! Hey Gina! What's up? We're just hanging out. I was sitting here edging these strips to make some bracelets that I'm gonna have for sale up on the website, and I thought, why not go live and just chat with everybody and see what people are doing on this beautiful Wednesday. So that's what we're doing, just hanging out together, which is kind of neat. I never thought of YouTube as a place to hang out like this. Like usually I think about Facebook Lives being like the hangout place. But I have more people, I think, on YouTube than I do on Facebook. I do have a Facebook page, so if you haven't liked the Facebook page, go over there. Right now there is a coupon for free shipping that's good till Friday. So if you're thinking of buying anything, this would be a great time, because free shipping doesn't come along very often. This is actually the first time I've ever done free shipping. The code is, I gotta think of it. It's spring, wait here, I have it written down. Whoops. It is spring ship 30. And it's on the Facebook page if you forget that. But free shipping through Friday with a $30 purchase. No limit though, you can get as much as you want. And I will pay your shipping for you. All right, Enid, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by and chatting. Yes, Gina got a new Cricut, which is exciting because it will change your life. You guys, if you don't have a cutting machine to do beads with, you want to do a lot of beads, really think about getting a cutting machine, because when I got the cutting machine, it changed my life. It allowed me to cut so many more. So I had like a guillotine cutter, like one of those big ones like you had in elementary school that chopped down, and that was great, but it killed my back. Like I could only cut for like 10 minutes at a time, and then I would have to go and take a break. But I got the Brother Scannon cut. So the Cricut is one. What else is out there? The Silhouette. Is the Silhouette a Cricut? I don't know. I don't know a lot about the other cutting machines. I know about mine. But man, you can sit there, set up your file, and hit the button, and boom, 2 minutes later, you have like 50 strips. It's amazing, amazing. So, and there's, so what you do if you have one is you can buy SVG files. And there's all kinds of places over the internet that you can buy these from. There's SVG Cuts, I think, is a website. I don't know a lot of the other ones. Sometimes they're free, and sometimes you pay just a couple dollars, like $2.99, $5.99, you know, maybe $10.99 if there's a lot in that file. And you can make the coolest stuff. There's like trucks and gift boxes and blowout cards and flowers, and of course paper beads, because I take all the ones that I make and I put them up on the website for people to buy. And you just buy the SVG file, you import it into your canvas that you use for your particular cutter, and again, you know, slide your paper in, hit the button, and boom, you got strips. And they're all very even. That's one of the best parts, is that the strips are all exactly the same. So when I was using my manual cutter, they would be close, but I mean, not perfect, because I'm human and I slip, the paper slips, or I don't line it up quite right. But with the cutter, every bead is consistent. Yep, Gina, you're right. There is a real learning curve. The first time I used mine, I cut into the mat. I still have that mat. Yeah, so I learned that I had to back up my blade a little bit on there. Thanks, Candy. I think they are. These, this is a paper packet. I don't know if you can get it anymore. I bought several of them when I found it, because it was so gorgeous. I think it's called the Storyteller if you're interested in buying it. If you Google like Storyteller paper pack, I think you might find it. Be careful though, because I bought some thinking I was getting the 12 by 12 and they came and they were 6 by 6. That's called not reading before you order. But I'm still going to use them. I'll just make some smaller beads out of it. Yeah, but it was hard to find. Again, I found it once and then I loved it so much I wanted more, and then it was really difficult to find again. So, but this is gorgeous, and the paper is very thick. I don't know what it's I think it's from England, so it's not a pound. It's they use a different weight system over there. I can't remember. I'll have to go find the cover. You're having trouble finding the 65 pounds. So you can get that at Michael's. The majority of the card stock that they have here. Give me a second and let me finish this one. I'll go grab some because I just bought some new packs. So we'll take a look at them. Let me go grab them. Be right back. Just take me 2 seconds. I just got to get around my lights. The bag just broke. If you heard the big crash, the bag that had the paper in it just completely broke. Okay. So this might be shiny. Let me make sure I've got a good view for you here. Okay, there we go. So this is from Michael's, and you can see down here it's got 65 pound, 176 gram, I believe that is. That's the English, I think. So most of these paper packs like this that you get at Michael's, the majority of them are 65 or 110, I think. So if you can look for these, Joann's has similar. I personally think the paper at Michael's is a better quality, the Recollections. There is a new paper that Joann started carrying. I cannot remember the name of it. If you guys know, pop it in the chat for me. But I don't like it. When I use it, it will often rip in my scan and cut, and it will stick to the mat. Gina actually sent me a question about that earlier, and here's the 110 pound. It fell out of the packet because it's so heavy. There's the 110. But when I use, it's Park Lane, that's what it is. Park Lane from Joann's. When I use that Park Lane paper, it kind of rips off and sticks to my brother's scan and cut mats. So I quit buying that. And I just buy this this Recollections Hobby Lobby. See, I don't know. I have not bought paper at Hobby Lobby yet. Hi, Anne. Good to see you. Yeah, so that's what you're looking for. And like I said, 65 is, I believe that's the first step up from regular paper, what would be considered like regular copy paper, into the card stock. The official card stock size would be 65, I think. You can also get it at Staples, like office supply stores. I bought some there the other day that I thought was white, and then when I got it home, it's downstairs so I can't show you, but when I got it home I realized that it was sort of like, it was confetti paper. The paper had little bits of other colored papers worked into it, kind of like a handmade paper. So first I was like, oh, I needed white paper, and then I was like, oh, but wait, this is really cool, I need to make some beads out of this. So I didn't return it. I had to just go buy more white. That's how we get these massive paper stashes that we can never get through in a million years, because we see something or we buy the wrong thing and we're like, oh, I'm keeping it. Or we just randomly see something at the store and we just can't stand it. We have to have it even though we have no idea what we're going to use it for. And then 2 years later, it's still sitting in your cart, in your paper stash, and you're like, yeah, I'll get to that. I bought a pack of fabric paper. So it's like jean, but it's real jean. I think it's like fused to the paper. And I was so excited about it, and I had all these ideas, but then I just, I had other ideas ahead of it, and then I just haven't gotten to it yet. So yeah, I decided that's how my paper stash got out of control. But we're fixing that. I figure the more jewelry I can make. Oh, and by the way, so I haven't really announced this yet, but it's up on the website. So I'm starting a fundraising, like a giving back program, and it's called Uplifted. And what it is all the finished jewelry, or most of the finished jewelry that I put on the website, is going to go, the sale of it is part of the proceeds are going to go to help someone else. And I've got 2 places, at least here at the beginning, where I'm going to donate that money. The first one is to a website called kiva.org. And kiva.org is a place where you can contribute $25 at a time to create micro lending for entrepreneurs who don't have access to money. So they might be in a third world country, or they might be in the US, but then maybe more of a poverty-stricken area. And they can apply to kiva.org to get microloans, and they do have to pay that back. So you loan, $25, I think is the smallest you can loan somebody. And they might get, 25 from, 500 people. Who knows how much they need. And then they'll pay that back, and then you can use that money to go back into a loan for somebody else. So that's kind of neat. So we're going to do that. And then the other thing I'm going to use that money to donate to is a website called donorschoose.org. And donorschoose.org is a place for teachers, public school teachers mostly. I don't know if private school teachers can do it or not, but I know it's mainly aimed at public school teachers, where if they need something for their classroom and their school can't afford it, they can create a project on Donors Choose. And so, for example, my son, one of his teachers from a past year, she really wanted to have, what's it called? The seating, flexible seating. That's what it's called, flexible seating. Because some of the teachers in his school have been able to get flexible seating. Either they've funded it themselves, or they've run a fundraiser for it, or the school may have given them money, but they didn't have money for everybody. So his teacher from the previous year went and did a Donors Choose, and I contributed because I thought when my son went into the room in 3rd grade that had the flexible seating, oh my gosh, things got so much easier for him. He's pretty social. He loves to talk. And having the flexible seating, letting him choose a place to sit that let him fidget a little or just was more comfortable for him, really helped him concentrate. I saw a huge difference. So it's projects like that on donorchoose.org. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to be collecting a certain percentage. I have to have a percentage where I can, cover operating costs. But on each piece of jewelry that's part of this program, you'll see on that page what percent of that piece is going to go towards these charities or microlending. I guess it's not technically a charity. And so that's going to be a new program. I haven't created a logo yet, but I went ahead and got up a page on the website that talks about it. and I put up a couple jewelry pages to start collecting money, and I'm excited, and I'll be sharing, you know, whoever I pick to award the money to, I'll be sharing, of course, on Facebook and probably on YouTube videos. So it's kind of a neat way to give back. And it doesn't take a lot of money to get started on that, you know? You can just give a little bit at a time and make a difference for people. Thanks, Candy. Yeah, it's important. It's important to me to try to do something to help other people. I've been pretty fortunate in my life. I mean, I've gone through my share of hard times too, and luckily I have wonderful parents and wonderful friends, two of which are on this live, Ann and Deborah, who really have helped me get through those tough times. So, you know, helping somebody else and doing some good in the world is important. All right, look, I'm getting there. I've got a bigger stash on this side than on the side that's not done yet. So I'm making progress. I'm so proud. Thanks, Gina. I'm excited about it. I need to do a logo. I have it in my head, like what I want to have for the logo for the program, but I haven't. I'm not really a graphic artist. I have the skills, like I can use Adobe Photoshop, but I'm not like the best. It's not my calling by any means. So I'll have to work on that. All right, we are making some progress now, guys. My arms are getting tired, I gotta admit. But this is way easier to do with the pliers than it would be if I were just doing it with my fingers and no pliers, for sure. Part of why I want to get this done is because I've got a several-hour ride in the car where I will not be driving. And I want to roll the beads. Of course. What else would I do on a long ride? Right? My trick to rolling beads on a trip and in the car is that I get a couple paper towels and I fold them up and I wet them down. Not too much or they'll be too wet, but you only need to do it a little bit. Then I put them in a Ziploc bag. Or you could put it, if you don't use Ziploc bags, you're more environmentally conscious, you could put it in a Tupperware. But then you have that with you in the car, and because, you know, I always get glue all over my hands, and if you don't wipe off the glue when you're rolling paper beads, you end up with like the little hairy pieces of glue on your beads. They're kind of nasty. So I have the wet paper towels in my Ziploc, and then I can wipe off my fingers as soon as they get all gluey, but I'm not making a mess in the car. And then I have a container, usually one of my containers you see on the shelf behind me during my videos, I'll take with me, and as the beads are finished, I'll drop them into that container to glaze when I get home. So that is my trick for taking paper beads on vacation. One year, the very first year I started doing paper beads, I took the whole kit and caboodle in the RV with me, and we went up north to Michigan to see some friends, and I sat there at the picnic table and did paper beads while we were camping. It was fun. All right, until I'm getting tired. So who's got questions for me? Is there any questions that you have about paper beading or jewelry making, or any, I don't know, anything you want to know? Gina, on one of the past lives, Gina had the opportunity to assign a video tutorial to me, and she picked flip-flops. So Gina, I will let you know that I have made some progress. Actually, the paper I just showed you, the pink and green, are paper for that project. So I hope that you approve of my color choices. They're going to be pink and green flip-flops. I still haven't quite, I have some designs I'm going to test out, so I'm working on it for you. I gotcha. Oops. Puerto Rico. How long were you there? You said this winter, so you were there quite a while. And what is their channel? Gina. Trust me, you definitely have to approve of my work. Otherwise, why do it? Yeah, Candy, put their channel in the link. I'll go check it out. I like to support other YouTubers. Or I said put their channel in the link. Put it in the chat, I meant. Or if you don't want to, you can send it to me separate, but... All right, coming down the wire here, almost done. So after this, I have to go and finish my tutorial for Sunday because I was waiting for the beads to dry. Would you guys like a sneak peek of Sunday's tutorial? Oh, Spanish and Go. Okay, nice. All right, I'm going to look up their channel for you and take a look at it and subscribe and all that. So do you guys want to see a sneak peek of a couple of the beads that I'll be doing in the tutorial for this Sunday? That might be fun, right? Because if you're on the live, you deserve to get some kind of special stuff. Gina's scaring the kids. Now, you got to put the kids to work, man. I don't know how old they are, but you got to put them to work. Sneak, please? Okay. Let me finish this one, and then, oh geez, actually I kind of knocked mine over. Okay, so I was waiting for these to dry. That's why I started doing the edging here, and then I thought, well, I'll just hop on live, and then you know how things get totally out of control. Shh, Bailey! Sorry for the loud barking. Bailey! Things get totally out of control. Okay, so the bead I'm about to show you is going to be on the bracelet for this weekend. And let me see, what's the best one to show you? This one. They are the silver embossed beads that I did in the last, sorry, that was my computer going off. They're the embossed beads that I did in the last video, but I have a little extra thing I'm going to teach you how to do. So I'm going to be putting these with these. So you know, I got two sneaks here. These little polka dot wide beads. But I had a little dilemma because when I got these done, the edge, we'll see here, I didn't do the other side. See how raw that edge looks? So I was like, okay, that doesn't look good against this finished bead, but I don't want to put this silver right next to this silver because they don't look good together. Like this is too plain next to this. So I thought, what do I do? So I have this special, I'm going to keep it a secret because I keep something a secret. I have a special substance. This is not paint. This is not embossing. If you can see the little black circle on there that I use, it's something completely different that I will reveal to you on Sunday. But I took it and I just created a tiny little black rim. Here's a couple more that you can see. I just created a tiny little black rim around these. So there's unfinished and there's two that are more finished. I don't know how well you can see them in this camera. I need to get a new camera, I think, that has a little more better detail. So unfinished, and then these two are finished. So it just gives it a little extra, I don't know. It just gives a little extra. So, do you find that your edges saturate the paper? Of course I did it. So it depends, you mean for the edging? It depends on the ink. So I've used other kinds of ink to try to do this edging, and yes, it saturates. I use dye inks is mostly what I have from the place that I worked last, and when I tried to use those to do this, it completely saturated the paper. It like got in, so like here the gold stays on the edge, but when you use the dye ink, it kind of goes in, and then all of a sudden you have this little growing strip of ink, right? So dye inks do that, the pigment inks do that. Even depending on the quality of paper you have, even using a, permanent marker, like a Sharpie, can do that. I've had that happen. And then not only does it do that, but if you get too much ink on the fibers of the paper start to blow out and they expand, and then your bead looks really crappy because the edge looks fuzzy. So yeah, I wasn't super happy with that. So that's where I decided to start using the metallic inks, because the metallic inks don't do that. They don't absorb, they sit on top and so they don't absorb into the paper. So they're a little bit easier. I think my pad may be getting a little bit dry. Here, you want to see how to re-ink your pad? Let's do that. So here's my re-inker for my Delicata Gold. And all I'm going to do, I'm not going to do as much as I did. I re-inked it before I started because I knew I was going to be doing a whole lot, but just going to put a little bit like that. And then you can take a spoon, like a back of a spoon or a spatula, whatever you have handy. This is like a little paint palette thingy. I don't know what these are called. Paint spatula. And just press the ink in like that until you can't see it anymore. Because if you don't press the ink in, it will glom up on your, we'll just wipe that off with a baby wipe. It will glom up on your paper. So you can do that. Yeah, that's why. Did it happen with the metallic, Gina? Because I've never had it happen with the metallics, but I have had it happen with the other type of inks. Oh, it sounds like my husband's home. Hi, honey. I'm upstairs. My studio is upstairs in our house. So. All right, coming down the home stretch. Just a few more to do. You guys are awesome for hanging with me. You may have been pressing too hard. Yes, you can't press too hard. That is for sure. If you press too hard, it will go up and over the edge. I would show you, but I don't want to ruin any of my strips because I have the exact right amount I need. But yes, if you press too hard, I'm barely pressing at all. I'm just literally just running it lightly across and not even pressing. Oh, and look, here's another thing. So this is a pink. I accidentally put it in this pile. But I'm doing beads in this color as well. But you can see how this paper, well, maybe you can't see it on the camera, but this paper is pink all the way through, so there's no pink edges. And you know what I've never tried is I haven't tried edging a colored paper like this to see how it would look. Like if the paper's all solid, but then it's got the pretty edges. I guess it wouldn't look that much different than the pattern, huh? But yeah, don't press too hard. I'm barely pressing at all. Keep it light. You just really want to drag it. The other reason you don't want to press too hard is because these Delicatas are foam pads. And so you can very easily cut the pad and ruin it. Which again, if you're not stamping, if all you're doing is edging, cutting the pad a little bit isn't really going to stop you. But if you do stamping as well, that is going to be a problem for you. Because you need to have a flat surface for the stamps. Right. I keep saying home stretch, but like there's really still a lot more to do. Oh, what we do for the love of the craft. I'm getting faster, I'm noticing though. I wonder if I'm skipping some that I'm not realizing, like not getting enough on it. I can definitely tell since I'm re-inking though, I can see it coming up over the back edge a little bit. I don't think it's as obvious on the front edge of these because of all the colors, but I can see on the back edge it is coming up a little further than it was earlier. Probably just because there's more ink in the pad. There we go. I'll let that one go. Okay. We're getting there. What else do you guys have going on? I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Unless you just want to sit here and watch me run strips over this pad. Does anybody have go into any good craft shows coming up? This is the craft show season, you know. I was thinking of doing a couple this summer. I don't normally do craft shows. I've done a few, but they're a lot of work, and I was working full-time too, so I haven't done a whole lot lately, but I'm thinking of doing a couple big ones this year locally. How do you get the whole of the bead so clean cut? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, although it could be if you've been hand cutting your strips, it could be that they were just not even, which is easy when you're hand cutting. It's really easy to get them uneven, and so the Cricut will solve that for you. The other thing is when I glaze, although these ones aren't glazed yet, but when I glaze, I take the skewer and I make sure that if there's any piece that's not straight in there, so like for example, this one has see how that's got a little bit of a flat side to it? Let's see if I have a skewer around here anywhere. I did. I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. So a lot of times I'll take and just do this and see if I can't get that pressed up to the side so that it's nice and round. Because with the bead rollers, you get a little bit of a flat piece where the bead gets caught in the slot. And so that can kind of round them out nicely like that. They do have like reamers and stuff like that, but I don't even own one. Those are mainly like, I think if you're working with clay beads, they have like little files and reamers and stuff. I don't know, I haven't used them, so this is just speculation, but I think those are probably a little too harsh for paper beads. Does that help? Is that what you meant? Yeah, cutting them by hand. Yeah, you're gonna be shocked, Gina. That I'm telling you, that machine is so worth it. You'd be so glad you bought it because my beads, since I started using the machine, are so consistent now. Every strip is exactly the same size, and it is like heaven working with it. Whereas before it was so hard, and especially, you know, if you're really trying to if you're just having like a bracelet that's full of just beads, you don't want to have ones that are slightly off. Like some are bigger, some are smaller. They're kind of all over the place. It just looks, I don't know. Sometimes that look can look good, like if you do it on purpose. But when you're trying to get a very consistent look and you can't, it's tough with hand cutting. So you're just gonna be amazed. Your productivity is gonna go way, way up once you get your handle on that Cricut machine. It'll be a beading fool for real. See, when I looked at them, I was seriously considering the Cricut. And the thing about the Cricut is it's very popular. I know so many people who have one. And it's very easy to get accessories. Like all the big box stores carry the Cricut accessories. Nobody carries the Brother Scan and Cut accessories. I have to order those from Amazon or from Brother or from my distributor where I buy the other stuff that I sell. But I have a Brother sewing machine that I love, and so that was one of the things that kind of went into it. Also, I think the Brother Scan and Cut is a little more versatile. I could be wrong. I mean, I think they basically do the same thing, but I had no problem learning to use it. You know, you might want to. I don't know, but I'm pretty computer savvy too. I don't know how computer savvy you are. The Brother uses Canvas software. If you Google Brother Canvas software, and you'll be able to create a free account and log in and take a look at the software that the Brother uses. I mean, you won't be able to do anything with it because you don't have the machine, but you should be able to get in and have a good look at the software prior to purchasing. So maybe do that. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm done. I almost didn't notice. Yeah, so maybe do that. Go to the Brother Canvas website and look at that software and see if you think it's easier than the Cricut software. Because I haven't tried the Cricut software. So I don't know. Here, let me see if I can flip my camera. Hey! There we go. But I like it. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of partial to Brother just because I've had this sewing machine. My mom bought it for me one Christmas. I mean, probably 15 years ago. And it's a computerized Brother sewing machine. And I've had the best time with it, the best luck. And it's so easy to use. It's got all these pre-programmed stitches in it. And I found the instructions very good. So that's why I went ahead and went with the Brother. And now I have the Brother, not the newest version. I have the version before that because I bought it last year just before the newest one came out, which is the D something. So I will tell you this. I've heard some complaints about the newest version because it's supposed to have an auto sensor. So it's supposed to be able to sense the thickness of your paper and adjust the blade automatically. And I've heard people having a ton of trouble with that. So I don't know, depending on how much money you want to spend, you may want to buy the other model. Let me see. I have this. I think this is on a couple videos in the description which model I have. It's the CM350 is what I have. So it's the last one they came out with prior to like December or January. CM3. Did I say 50? Yeah. CM350. It does not auto sense the thickness. You have to set it yourself. But I love it. I have no problem with it at all. And it's significantly cheaper than the newest one. So it depends on how much money you want to spend. Someday I'll get that new one, maybe next year. I don't know. But as long as this one works for me, you know, why spend the money, right? All right. You can buy it on Amazon. There's a link. If you go to the video that I have on dry brushing, I have links in the description of that video to the different machines on Amazon. The newer one, the next oldest one, and I think I might have the Cricut in there too. But those are affiliate links, so if you use them, I will get, you know, that like 5 cents or whatever Amazon pays. They give you like a piddly amount of money, but just FYI. So if you're going to buy it from Amazon, you can go straight to those links and find those exact machines, and thank you. That would be awesome. But otherwise, you might get a good price. Sometimes they have good prices. Well, I see they used to carry them at Michael's and they don't anymore. But you might check the online site. You might be able to get them for a better price through Michael's. All right, guys. So I am going to head out of here and finish my video for Sunday. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. So have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.